What if, at the end of your life, you open your eyes and find that everything you once denied was true? It is a question that has lingered through centuries, asked by many who contemplate faith, reason, and the possibility of a life beyond death. Let us imagine for a moment the possibility of standing on the other side. You have lived your life in denial of God, the divine, and the idea of eternity. You were certain that death would bring nothing more than silence, a full stop to everything you were and everything you ever thought. And yet here you are, in a place that shatters all expectations, a place that seems vast, unknowable, and beyond the reach of human understanding. In this moment, clarity arrives not as a soft whisper, but as a force that pierces you to the core. You see for the first time what you refused to believe. What then? The mind reels in this hypothetical, doesn't it? Because in that instance, it would no longer matter what clever arguments you made about science and reason, or how strong your convictions were about life being nothing more than atoms and molecules. In that moment, what would remain is an unchangeable truth, the truth that God exists, that eternity is real, and that our choices in life mattered more than we ever realized. Suddenly, your confidence in disbelief might feel like sand slipping through your fingers. This is not to accuse or to provoke. It is merely to ask a question, one that compels us all, regardless of belief, to pause and reflect. What if you were wrong? Wouldn't it have been better to take a chance on belief? Consider this. If there is no God, if there is no life after death, then believing does you no harm. You live a life of meaning, of virtue, and of purpose. You embrace hope, love, and morality in ways that elevate you and those around you. You pursue a sense of peace and fulfillment that so many people of faith find in their relationship with the divine. And at the end of it all, if death leads to nothingness, you lose nothing. Your faith would simply have been a comforting light in a world that can sometimes feel dark and uncertain. But what if God is real? What if faith was always the bridge to the eternal, and rejecting that bridge means turning your back on what you cannot see? If this is true, then disbelief becomes more than just a personal choice. It becomes a gamble. A gamble with stakes so high they are beyond measure. Because in that case, faith is not just a comforting illusion, it is the answer to the greatest question we will ever ask. Faith is the path to a destiny that stretches beyond this fleeting life. Some will argue, but I see no evidence for God. That is fair. It is the central claim of many who identify as atheists. Show me proof, they say. And yet, much of what we accept about life and the universe relies on things we cannot see, touch, or fully understand. Gravity, love, the origins of existence. We experience their effects, but we cannot always explain their mysteries. We trust in things unseen because we see their impact on our lives. Could it not be the same with God? Could the yearning for purpose, the pull toward love, and the hope for eternity be evidence of something greater, a hint of the divine reaching out to us? And what of morality? If God does not exist, then who decides what is good or evil, right or wrong? Without a higher power, morality becomes subjective, nothing more than an opinion shaped by culture, circumstance, or personal preference. But if God exists, then morality becomes anchored in something eternal, unchanging, and true. It becomes a reflection of a higher order, a divine law that speaks to the soul. This is why belief matters. It gives our lives direction and meaning in a world where it is easy to feel lost. It is important to acknowledge that faith requires a leap. No one is denying that. Faith is not about certainty, it is about trust. a willingness to believe that there is something more beyond what we can see. And when you think about it, isn't all of life built on faith? We have faith that the sun will rise tomorrow. We have faith that the people we love will stand by us. We have faith that our work, our dreams, and our struggles will lead to something better. Faith is the foundation of hope, and without it, life becomes unbearably small. Blaise Pascal, the 17th century philosopher, posed this very question in what has come to be known as Pascal's wager. He argued that, when faced with the question of God's existence, it is rational to believe. Because if God does not exist, the believer loses nothing. But if God does exist, the unbeliever risks everything. It is a simple yet powerful idea that belief is the safer path, not because it removes doubt, but because it opens the door to possibility. To deny God is to close that door forever. Imagine two people standing at the edge of a great ocean. One believes that there is something on the other side, an unseen shore full of beauty and promise. The other believes that the ocean is endless, empty, and meaningless. They both take their journey, and they both cross the water. If the believer is wrong, and there is nothing beyond the horizon, what has been lost? But if the skeptic is wrong, and the shore is real, what has been missed? The answer is everything. This is the question that lies at the heart of this discussion. It is not about proving who is right or who is wrong. It is about asking whether the risk of disbelief is a price worth paying. Because at the end of the day, the choice is yours, and the stakes are eternal. What if one day you stand before that truth? What if everything you denied, everything you dismissed, turns out to be real? What would you give to go back and choose differently, to take a chance on faith, on hope, and on the possibility that this life is not the end? Would it not be worth it to believe, even just a little, just in case? The choice is yours, but remember this: if there is no God, you have nothing to lose. If there is a God, you have everything to gain.